森重もあの様子だと助かっていないと思う。
してよ。みんな簡単に死んじゃわないでよ。委員長。
あとの希望はゆい先生か。
あとはとか言わないで。
終わり。
死んでいったみんなもきっと俺たちにまでここで死んでほしくないに決まってる。繋ぐんだ、みんなの脱出したいって意志を、命のバトンを。逆打ちの方法は分かったんだし、こんな状況だけど希望は見えてきた。
You know, you can see what I mean about Satoshi's character. I mean, remember in the intro, he was just like this kind of hopeless, scaredy cat kind of guy. But when it push comes to shove, he has this leadership quality to him, where he's just like, we're all in this together, we're gonna get through it together, no one's gonna die, we're gonna get out of here alive, no more dying.
もう少しだ。ゆい先生を見つけてここから出るぞ。
おう。
そうだ、中島さん、これ私の学生証。
Then it just drops down the hole and you're like, ah, shit, sorry.
それとこれ
I mean, if it did, I mean, remember that time? When Ayumi burnt it when she went a bit crazy in that one bad ending. Man, that ending was dark as shit, wasn't it? Hand it over the baby statue, that's a different one.
ごめんね。逆打ちの方法を知ったのなら不安だったでしょ。
I mean, how would they even think to be like, oh, we found a statue, by the way, since you got a yellow statue, maybe you can have it. I mean, I think Yuki gave them some, I mean, she's the one who gave the marble statue, and they gave it to Satoshi, so maybe, I can't remember, it was ages ago, maybe Yuki pointed out, just like, that's, they need it, but that probably give it to Satoshi. I think she said something like that, so maybe that's why she's handing over the yellow statue, because it seems like it'd be important and connected to the yellow statue.
切れ端、もうなくさないでね。ありがとう。すごく嬉しい。
篠崎、助かったよ。よく見つけてくれていたな。
どういたしまして。そう、でもね、さっきナホさんと会った後見直してみたら血のシミが取れてたの。
And now everything will become clear as day, like you said. This will be different to last time.
先生、ごめんなさい。私の読みが甘すぎました。ここは今までにカンパしてきたような簡単な霊磁場ではありませんでした。一刻も早くここから脱出しないと本当に危険です。逆打ちで簡単に戻れると思ったのに、惨殺された幼い魂が磁場に複雑に絡まっていて、このままでは使えません。逆打ちを使うにはまずこの子たちの怨念を何とか除霊して包囲している霊磁場のゲートをほどかなければ。このままの状態で使うと逆に危険です。何が起こるか分かりません。
これは。
うん、この天神小学校の周囲をユキちゃんたち子供の霊が霊磁場を作って包んでいる。だからこのまま逆打ちを行っても霊磁場が邪魔をして帰れないってこと。
You say that, Ayumi, but what about all those times where they did succeed? I mean, it's weird. I mean, looking back at the other bad endings, some of them had clear consequences, like that one where Ayumi escaped with them, but Yoshiki didn't. That seemed like it was probably linked to that. And maybe it was also because the whole thing is supposed to just say onegashimasu at the end. But she worded it differently, and I don't know why. I mean, she probably said more or less the same thing, but she changed the wording, so maybe that's why that one was didn't end up going so well for her. But at the same time, I don't know, it's all a bit confusing, this whole thing. They like establish this rule of sorts and then kind of go against it, but at the same time they don't fully show everything, so you're still left wondering. It's like, oh, maybe it still really is like that, but they don't show any further than that.
やはり幸子の懺悔を引き出して子供の霊を成仏させなきゃならないのか。
Or maybe it's simply because they don't want to leave the place and leave everything unresolved so that everyone is just trapped there. Well, that's kind of the thing, really, isn't it? I mean, anyone who dies there just seems to be stuck there. They wouldn't want their friends who have died there to be stuck there forever, would they?
頑張ろう。もう少しだよ。
Oh, the music stopped. How would you get Naho's notes then? I mean, her student ID. Because I've clearly got it right. Where is it? No. Yeah, right there. See the name next to her? That was the friend she brought along with her so that she could do the charm. And, well, her corpse was in the corpse disposal room, that big room at the end of the incinerator, remember that? It feels weird because it's just referring to that and all that, but that hasn't happened in this art yet. This kind of like playthrough from the previous save file. It's all just a bit of a clusterfuck, but yeah. She also plays more of an important kind of role in Blood Drive, that sequel that I used to ramble about a lot, and how it kind of falls flat more often than not. Oh god, we gotta do this again. Here we go! You know, I was also reading the description for the bad ending where we failed to get Naomi out of this pit, and it just makes you think of how fucked up it is even more. It's like, oh, and she's eaten alive, dragged down and eaten alive. How fucked is that? I think that might be one of the most disturbing endings in all of this. The sound effects, the implications. I mean, Naomi's had it rough. Remember in chapter 1 there was a bad ending where the ghost possessed her to take a pair of scissors and jam it down her own throat. Like through her mouth, down her throat. I mean, Jesus Christ. Naomi has not had pleasant endings. Well, none of the bad endings are pleasant, really. I mean, the closest to a not as bad ending is still bad because they're kind of like what it indicated, but the previous bad ending they went for kind of ended in a weird way, didn't they? Where it's like, oh, and then it's like, oh shit, it's doesn't really resolve anything. Countless shiny black bugs, arthropods and worms have all converged together into a skittering, shifting mass so big it's like a slimy lake. That makes me think of Resident Evil 7. I haven't actually played Resident Evil 7, but I've seen playthroughs of it, and that scene where they're like characters like squeezed in a kind of closed kind of space getting around, and all those fucking bugs and shit just fall. And since Resident Evil 7 has the VR kind of thing as well, that must have been an intentional thing. But imagine this scene right here, realistic graphics, in VR. That would be fucking horrible. Ugh. So she's like, what? Oh shit!
ナオミナオミこっちだ来れるか
It's like they put in that freaking fucked up bit of information, but it's like you can read it if you really want to, but you'd run out of considerable amount of time. I mean, look, the timer is going down at every second.
ナオミ
It's like that scene in the pool, if you remember. Same thing. It's got a bit of like text thrown in here and there, but it's like you're stuck on a timer, but you still get the morbid
ナオミ
descriptions.
捕まれよしいいぞもう少しだ感覚を遮断しろ泳いでくるんだ
The sound effects, man.
よしよしもう少しだよし
Yuck. I mean, they probably didn't use anything nearly as skin crawling for the sound effects. I wouldn't be surprised if they. It's like got like a sheet of a newspaper or something like that, rolled it up and just put rice in between in there and just went or something like that for the sound effect. But still, in context, it's just like.
ああじっとしてろ全部取ってやるよしもう大丈夫だ
You know, saying that,
大丈夫だぞ
it could just be a stock sound effect that they found. But stock effect might have been used the same way. I don't know. The thing I wonder with these type of games is the sound effects. Which ones, if any, are stock sound effects that they found, or what effects are ones they've actually just made themselves. I don't know, I feel like if I made a game, if it came with some stock sound effects, I probably would use them, but if not, I'd probably make them myself in the most convoluted ways imaginable, probably. It's like, oh, we need sound effects for rain. Wait till it rains, and just put a microphone facing the window. It's like, pick up the rain, but nothing else, pick up the rain, but nothing else, we gotta get our sound effect, damn it! And instead of being like a 2-second loop of rain, or even less, it'd be like a 20-second loop of rain. It's like, wow, that rain's got some variety to it. I actually did that once. Years ago, this like novel that I keep mentioning on and off writing for. I haven't freaking wrote anything for it in months, I don't think. But like I remember years ago doing little soundtracks, and one of them was titled something like Sadness in the Rain, and I recorded it with my phone, so the audio quality was pretty shit, and I was playing the piano, keyboard, and it was really kind of like, it had a nice, actually, I think I can play it on my guitar, but somehow, yeah, it was really nice, had a nice melody and shit going on to it, but it was like, there wasn't much going on for the left hand, so it was, the background noise really kind of ruined it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take my phone, put it next to the window when it's raining, and we're gonna title it Sadness in the Rain by mixing the two together. Genius.
立てるかさあ肩を貸すから
Boggles my mind, though, looking back at those recordings, because I knew jack shit about things like keys, scales, or anything like that. But then, looking back at some of the music I made like that, I'm just like, wow, that was probably very modal driven. That was nice. Let's go advance the plots. I forget where to go. Something we gotta do. Nice. We have the statues. It's actually the statue like an unborn baby in the womb, covered in a film of ectoplasmic residue. Marble statue, heaven, craving new body. Maybe Steve Georgie, Hank. She must have dropped along the way without even realizing it. I mean, if we got her ID in the inventory, why not have everyone's? There's an empty pedestal of arms against the wall here with a peculiarly shaped round slot at the top. The marble statue seems like it would fit perfectly in the second place. There's an empty pedestal against the wall here with a peculiarly shaped round slot at the top. The baby statue seems like it would perfectly set in place. Well, they both have the same thing. Is there like an order or not? That ain't no baby statue, man. That's the exact same statue. What's up with that? Ominous. Hell, how have we been for time here? Jesus Christ, over an hour. I wasn't kidding in the video description on the previous part, which isn't the previous part here because this is going on over an hour, so it wouldn't be. It's essentially the part at the end of the previous record session. In the video description I wrote like, what will the next ending be like in comparison? Find out in the next few parts, because there's no way we're gonna begin to any of the other endings quite so soon. There's still a bit of new plot to cover before we get there.
Naomi?
いる。さっき私を襲った何かが保健室って書いてあるけど、ここさっきまでと全然違っちゃってるよ。頭痛い。
I mean, she's not kidding. We've never been to this area.
お兄ちゃん苦しい。私もダメ。
二人とも鼻血が出ているぞ。分か
No
った。
girls
そこで
allowed.
待っててくれ。
Like only boys and men and shit we're allowed to pass. No girls allowed. Maybe that's what it says on it.
なんだ、窓という窓に子供の顔と手が浮かんでいる。
I wonder how this would have looked with more up-to-date kind of graphics. Like, not like the ones used in Blood Drive, for example, because the graphics were a bit odd in that one. The shift from pixel graphics to 3D models, I don't think they quite nailed it in that one. So, maybe it would look cheesier if they actually showed it. Just like, oh, look at the face on the wall, it's not creepy, but it probably would fall a bit flat. Not just because it's on a wall, ha ha ha. There's a posting attached to the door. No girls allowed, does it say? No. Such go cleaning up in the reference room. Please wait here for me until I'm done. Mom. Is that why we couldn't get into the reference room until that time we ran into Naho, I guess?
幸子だって。
I guess she was the one who was kicking us out of that room.
空いてますよ。お入りなさいな。
Well, at least she sounds welcoming. Granted, we're not the person she's waiting for.
俺のか。俺もいつの間にか鼻血が出ている。
That must be bloody confusing. I just realized I said bloody confusing. And it's just like thinking blood in Japanese is chi or something like that, isn't it? How bloody confusing? Again, I said it. How confusing is that, man? It's just one syllable. I mean, you couldn't write it out with just a hiragana, I'd imagine, character for chi, because that would not make sense. So it probably would have to put in kanji character. That's one of those words that probably would need that just for the context, otherwise you'd have no idea what the hell it even means. And I don't even know what the character for that even looks like. It's weird, you see, anytime I see a kanji character, it's just like, if I don't recognize it, I know, like, the pronunciations it could have attached to it, like, I guess if we saw the kanji character for blood, it'd be chi, but it probably could have another pronunciation, I don't know, but that's just one syllable. You see, like, loads of kanji characters together, and it's just like, how do you pronounce that? But usually it's just freaking 1 or 2 syllables per kanji character. So kanji characters look way more complicated than hiragana or katakana could ever be.
ここに長いは危険だが、きっと何かがある。
Hey, you bled on the floor.
夏休みには皆さんで遠足に行きましょうね。
Isn't this just the infirmary? Wait a second, it would be the infirmary, wouldn't it? Because this is not far from where Mayu's body was splattered on the wall, is it? It's just that the layout has changed. How confusing. You look a little creepier and more detailed now.
なんだ、体が動かない。金縛りが。
さっちゃんは私の自慢。
Lady, you should probably button up your bra showing. I don't care, I'm dead. I don't give a fuck.
私のために何でもしてくれる。
I can move again. Out of nowhere, the book on the desk begins flipping pages and slams shut. You know what would be impressive for this graphical style? Because I don't think they really do it much, if at all, in this game. But imagine if they had Satoshi's head tilt to the side to indicate that he's looking that way. That would look cool in how limited the graphical style has been. That would actually look like, whoa!
Diary. 日記か。
I mean, I guess they could realistically do that. Oh, he's still talking. They could realistically do that anyway, if they just changed the sprite so that it's like facing a different direction. I mean, it would still be flat 2D graphics, but it would make it look like it's kind of going out of it a bit, because he's like looking diagonally rather than just like forward, back, and to the sides. But they'd have to make a whole other sprite for it. Imagine if they did, though, just for one scene. I guess she's just gonna let us read it. The book seems quite old, with yellowed pages and frayed edges, but the carefully linked letters are still completely legible. The voice actor's gone, apparently. What?
11月19日私は死んだようだ。
Dear diary, I seem to be dead.
待て、おかしくないか。
許せない。
I get the impact,
許
but
さ
still,
ない。
it's kind of hilarious.
殺してやる。
Unintentional
よく
comedy.
も幸子。
Shut up.
よくも私を。
やばい。
This is bad. I should have shut up. I shouldn't have laughed at that ridiculous diary entry. I could at least picked up the diary and ran.
Satoshi!
Naomi, Yuka, 立て、ここを離れるぞ。
You know, I find it weird though how we needed those statues to get to the infirmary. I know that the school is like kind of shuffled its layout quite considerably a bit. But how the hell did they end up see love? I guess it's because she's back in the infirmary now and she's not just a black mist with eyes. So now that she is more physically there, maybe she was like, I'll just put these here so nobody can ball me out on Sachiko, her daughter. It has been revealed that's her mother, right? Because if so, I just made a major spoiler. What was that? They walked seemingly down here and then they ended up swallowing up here going, oh, that was so exhausted. I'm fine, but the music's so loud.
大丈夫。痛み消えたわ。
I don't think your headache
なんな
would
のあの廊下。
have subsided with this music blasting in your ears.
保健室に首の折れた女の先生が。周りには初めて見る子供の霊がたくさんいた。
So she was truly actually the broken neck woman from Project Zero, Fatal Frame.
サトシ、それ。
机の上にあった日記帳だ。
さっきの机から離れなかったの。
Wait, he actually picked it up? I didn't see him actually remove the diary. Maybe because it was a prop. It's just like, no, it's part of the scenery, you can't actually move it.
間違いない。この日記にその幽霊が文字を書いているのを見た。色拍子に名前が書いてある。篠崎義恵。
Couldn't even hear most of that over this music.
何か大事なことがわかるかもしれない。見てみるか。
What can you imagine? Like, if they voice acted every line, like sometimes they don't, but imagine if they did for every line and they didn't have text bars. This would be impossible, even if you understood Japanese, because of how loud the music is. You would not have a clue what's going on. Oh, the music changed. Oh, 1953. You know, why? Why is it always in these? It's always month, day, year. It bugs the shit out of me because in the UK it's day, month, year. Why does it always do it this way? I mean, it makes me think, it's just like, is it only in the UK? But it's gotta be other countries that do the same thing. But it's always this version of it, and it always confuses me. Especially, imagine if this was the 7th. It'd be like 7/7/1953, and you wouldn't be able to tell if it was doing day, month, year, or month, day, year. I mean, why is that even a thing? It should just be one, not two, just one. It just makes things confusing, damn it.
今日も子供たちとたくさん会話をした。この学校の児童たちはとても健やかにすくすくと育っている。低学年の子たちの情操も穏やかで、ゲンだがいっぱいの愛情をかけてもらっているだろうことがよくわかる。私も負けないように幸子をしっかりと愛してあげたいと思う。
Sorry, I can't hear you over the loud music. You know what? Kind of interrupting a bit. I watch ghost programs with my mother a lot, right? And like when they're like just like, oh, listen to this audio. They have this freaking loud music over it. It's like you're trying to show that you caught a ghost on tape, which I find hard to believe either way, to be honest. But you also add this music in the background that's like, and it's like, you should, I mean, if you're gonna show an actual audio clip where it's like, this is something that actually happened, don't put shit over it, because it will drown it out and you'll be like, so what am I supposed to be hearing? It's like, freaking tone the volume.
今日は幸子の7歳の誕生日。放課後一緒に夕食を食べに行くことに決めてある。
Yeah.
プレゼントの猫のぬいぐるみ 喜んでくれるかな。
Pay attention to that. That's going to be important for some of the endings, and most of the endings going forward, really. But I think we gotta ignore that bit for the ending we're going for at the start. So what was I going to say? One of those shows I mentioned. I didn't mention the shows. Just that I watched a bunch of those shows. And there's one show I freaking forget because there's so many with similar titles. Paranormal Investigator or something. It's kind of that's the one I was thinking of when it comes to freaking where they'd be like, oh, this is the audio that these paranormal investigators caught, so let's put some music over it so that we're like, what? One thing I really like about that show is how unintentionally hilarious it is. If I'm thinking of the right show, because there's like, I think there was another show with a similar title. But in this show, right, there'd be like a good chance that the paranormal investigator comes on and the camera pans on him and they'll just do this dramatic arms crossed pose. It makes me laugh every time I see it. Just all these guys just looking at the camera roll, serious, then arms crossed. I'm in business. It's hilarious.
一日の仕事を終え、3階の資料室で書類の整理をしていたところに校長先生が訪ねてきた。しばらく話をした後に先生は突然後ろから近づいて私の体を捕まえて恐ろしい力で押さえつけて私の衣服のボタンを外し恥ずかしめに
We haven't learned this information yet, have we?
いつも悩みを聞いてくれる優しかった校長先生と同じ方とは思えないとても恐ろしいから。
Oh, that would also explain why her shirt was unbuttoned there.
私は驚いてしまって自分に何が起こったのかわからなかった。私は体を曲げ必死で逃れた。資料室から出たが先生は追いかけてきた。階段を降りて踊り場を回った私を先生は後ろから強く押した。目の前に1階の床が迫ってきたと思ったら体が動かなくなった。だらしなく床に這ったまま私はどうやら死んだらしい。頭から血がたくさん出た。後で拭くのも大変だ。湿巾もしていた。みっともだ。
Yeah, as tragic and dramatic as this scene is, when she said that, all I could think about was that freaking episode of South Park, where Cotton's like, no man, when people die they lose control of the bells, and then suddenly, like, oh well, I guess he is dead then.
目の前で大事な声が聞こえた。私は我に返った。幸子が見ていたのだ。私を迎えに来たのだ。先生は幸子に近づいていく。何をする気なのだろうか。やめてくださいと叫んだが、私は死んでいて声が出なかった。幸子は小さい体で逃げたが、先生はすぐに追いついた。そして私の目の前で首を絞めて殺しやがった。なんとひどい人だろう。先生は私の服の乱れを直し、幸子の体を地下室に運んで埋めてしまった。私のことはただの事故にして、幸子の遺体を隠して行方不明にしてしまうつもりなのだ。
I mean, I know I'm kind of breaking the mood a little here, but then why was her shirt slightly unbuttoned when we saw her in the infirmary there? Did she redo that as a kind of this is what he did kind of thing, or what? I mean, I guess she did die when it was unbuttoned, so maybe this whole thing is a bit confusing, really.
自分は悪くないことにするのだ。うるせえな。
This is kind of like that classic Asian horror kind of thing, isn't it? Vengeful spirits out for vengeance. Can't blame her, but they kind of get out of hand. Those vengeful spirits end up becoming twisted, evil almost. Well, yeah, evil because they're so blinded by it. 1953. I mean, that was years ago. What point in time does the I think actually the plot's supposed to take place in like somewhere around the late 2000s, like around 2008 to 10 or something like that. So that's a long time before that.
案の定だった校長先生は私の死んだ理由を不注意の自己死と押し通して幸子のことを何も言わなかった
Oh. I guess I'll voice act. The other teachers and students are all mourning me. They're so kind.
私はとても悲しくなった
7/21/1953.
保健室の私の机に知らない人が座っている私の代わりの保健医だねでも子供たちは誰も来ないきっと人気がないのだ
Why do you... Well, I suppose the answer would be obvious why she hates her, because she has now taken her previous job. And she's an angry spirit now. 7/26/1953.
だんだん理性を失っているのがわかる私がどんどん消えてゆく私でない黒い意識が私の中に入ってきている嫌だ
これは幸子の母親か
Oh. I thought it was Ayumi for a second, and I was like, no, that's Naomi. She is actually there.
ああそうだな
待ってなんかおかしい見つけた幸子が生きていたのって
Yeah, that was decades ago. Come to think of it, that's over half a century ago, really.
1973年児童殺害事件の時でしょ
Oh, yeah.
そうだなこの日記だとさらに20年前の話になっているどういうことだ
Good observation there,
例の
Naomi.
歴史の死後日記は無念の死を遂げた女優の悲痛な思いを書き連ねている
You know, I get that these are his thoughts kind of perspective, but then they usually, I forget what they're called. I use them all the time, but they have those usually for that, don't they? Where are they this time?
自爆霊となった彼女に続けて日記を書く出来事もなくなってくるのだろうそこからはただ寂しい寂しい幸子に会いたい子供たちに会いたい許せない殺してやるといった感情の殴り書きが並んでいるだけだったなんだこのページから開かない
After a certain point, the diary's pages become so blood-soaked that they were all sticking together. They regulated mess of loopy paper. Man, that must be nasty as hell. Skipping past the bloody section yielded the very last few entries in the book, all of which were dated around 20 years later. My god, that must be a big-ass diary then to cover all those years. I guess because the diary entries became so short. But even then, it would still probably be quite a considerable amount of pages. 7/12/1973.
さっちゃんは私の自慢私のために何でもしてくれる寂しい私のためにいっぱい人を殺してくれる子供をいっぱい送ってくれるみんな大好き
You're crazy, lady. 7/15/1973.
やめさせなければならない。私はこんなことで喜ばない。
Well, you should have told her that the first time, you know. It's like, oh, Sachiko, you know, killing is wrong, right?
幸子、やめなさい。
7/16/1973.
あいつの一族は許さない。末代までたたってやる。あいつらの脳に直接
I mean,
焼き付けてやる。
the difference in tone there. She's like, Sachiko, stop it. You shouldn't be doing this. You can't kill people. That's wrong. And then suddenly, I will make those bastards pay every last one of them. 7/17/1973.
なんということだ。20年も前に私と一緒に死んだ幸子が今生身の体で存在している。
You know, that's confusing me. There's a few diary entries back. There was a mention of Sachiko bringing kids to her, so that means there'd been earlier victims. I mean, how'd that happen? Where's the explanation there? I doubt the Sachiko charm was a thing at that point in time, presumably anyway. So how'd that happen?
子供たちを殺めて魂を私のもとへ送るなんて、そんなことで私は喜ばない。幸子、ここへ来て。
So I guess before the big incident, she was already doing that, but probably in spirit form, so it probably didn't get the media coverage that the other one did or something. I mean, it probably was like Stephen King's It or something. It's like mysterious disappearances. Nobody knows the cause kind of thing.
私と話をして。
7/20/1973.
幸子は6人も殺めてしまった。しかも神隠しと呼ばれる人は完全に足跡も消している。あの子の一人で子供をさらってきて殺害するなんてことはできない。あの男を使って誘拐させているのだ。幸子、やめて。
You know, what she said about that as well, just like cursing the bloodline of the principal. I mean, the principal's the one who did that, but it's like his son seems like he probably wasn't really a bad guy at all. So she kind of like cursed the bloodline or whatever, and maybe that's what kind of just... I mean, just... why'd you do that? I mean, again, you're blinded by revenge, but it was that asshole who did it, not anyone else. 7/23/1973.
幸子、やめて。殺したいから殺してる。いつの間にかそうなって。生きている人って腹が立つものね。私たちは殺されたの。
Living beings are such fickle, easily angered creatures. They killed us after all. Yeah, say that to your freaking... I mean, Sachiko's a spirit, and she is pretty much everything you described here. It's complete opposite. I mean, it's the complete same thing, but it's the opposite because she's not living. Just like, yeah.
人を殺すやつって許せない。
Well, what about her then?
絶対殺してやる。
What?
だから殺すんだ。
Hypocrite!
許さない。
Hypocrite! I guess that's intentional. She's gone so mad with revenge that she doesn't even realize how fucked she's gotten and how hypocritical she is. She's all like, I don't know, anyone who kills someone is bad. Therefore, she ends up becoming the very thing she hates to the extreme. 7/24/1973.
もっと殺せ。
7/25/1973.
もっと殺せ。
Age 15, 1973.
連れてこい。
918, 1973.
さっちゃんのおかげでもう寂しくない。今日また3人も可愛い子供を送ってくれた。
Ah, that must have been the day of that.
さっちゃんは私のじゃない。
What about all the ones that came before it? Because that seems like she had already had a considerable body count before that even happened.
私のことはもうわからなくなっているけど。
Heavenly Host must have, like, been a thing, like this trapped spaces thing must have been a thing before that incident. Maybe. I don't know, because how the hell would any of this make any sense otherwise?
あの子を私は愛してる。
11, 18, 1975.
学校が廃校になった。校長が飛び降りた。ざまあ見ろ。皆さんでお歌を歌いましょう。楽しい歌がいいですね。
Wait, so the principal killed himself after the incident? That means that the principal's son was already kind of losing his mind all the way back then, I guess? Because he was the one who helped out with that?
ざまあ見ろ。汚い死に方だ。
11, 23, 1975.
さっちゃんは学校の中を歩いて誰もいなくなった学校の中を
Empty holes my ass with all that body count.
面白がって入ってくるやつを殺すんだ。あの子私ともう一緒。喉が渇いてる。
I mean, that's classic Asian horror though, isn't it? Just like this vengeful spirit so blinded with hatred that they kill indiscriminately anyone who happens to cross their path. This always seems to be the case there, doesn't it? I guess the hole she must mean that hole, I suppose. Yes, it would have to be that one, otherwise it wouldn't make sense. Or would it? Because, I don't know. I mean, she spotted the main characters a few times and she hasn't really gone out of her way to kill them or anything. She's just kind of there in the background, just being like, come this way. It's like she's just pretty much just messing with them more than anything else.
仕方がないんだよ。
After this, the writing becomes too jumbled to read.
なんてこと。
幸子は母親を寂しがらせないために子供を殺して霊界に送っていたのか。
I mean, how many died? Not even before the main plot takes place? I mean, Jesus Christ. I think she's probably got a bigger body count than freaking Stephen King's It.
そのうちに心が壊れてあんな状態に。
この母親の霊もきっと本心では幸子の暴走を止めてほしいと願っているはずだよ。
Although she is equally as crazy, lost her mind to vengeance and is driven by bloodlust for revenge, even though it's kind of not really revenge because, well, the guy who did that already dead. He's the only one who really, did that. And they just caught up like countless innocent souls into the whole thing.
そうだな。どうすればいいのかわからないけど、幸子の心を解くためには。この学校の校長も鍵を握っていそうだな。別館に確か校長室があったはずだ。
Well, they actually give you some direction here, because otherwise you just walk to the other building and then it's just like without any indication, you just kind of go there because there's nowhere else to really look around. We can finally make that long-awaited save point. My god, 3 hours. Man, this has been a long recording. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was a lot of plots. Where will the plot lead us next? Well, obviously to the other building, of course. Don't know how much of the plot in the next area will play out identically to how it has before, or maybe there'll be some differences. Possibly would be after they've got that information from the diary, but who knows? We'll find out in the next part, so we'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.